I know every once in a while I see something new. I even thought in I picked up England, in England they have a homeless or young people without homes. They have a St. Vincent project for that. I thought that was interesting.
St. Vincent de Paul is in 150 countries.
I know, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right, why don't we just start from scratch with her name and all that?
All right. We're going to start over.
Okay.
So again, if you would please, your first and last name so that we can have it on the recording.
Right. My name is Cathy Zimmerman. It's CathyZimmerman. Cathy Zimmerman.
Let's begin by, if you would, share with us what's your hearing impediment or your hearing loss, and how long does that go back?
I am considered nerve deaf. I'm considered a small D deaf. If you write deaf with a small d, that's what I am. I lost my hearing when I was in my teens, and it was gradual. I really didn't even notice it, but other people did. They kept telling me, you can't hear. And of course I'm denying it, because I can't hear. I can hear sounds, but I couldn't understand conversations. And so that was in my teens, and gradually I became what they call clinically deaf, but I can still hear a little bit, and I get information by reading lips, and I have 2 hearing aids.
So does sound, is it muffled? Would you say it's muffled? How would you describe the sound that you hear?
It would sound like if I just said a bunch of syllables and none of them made sense. Like if I just took a sound that you said and then just mix it all up, and it doesn't make sense unless I see that letter on your lips. Like, if you said mum, I can see that. But if you just said mum and my head was turned, I wouldn't know what you were saying.
So for you, you hear me and you read my lips and you put all of those things together,
Right.
and you can follow what I'm saying.
Right, that's true. It's a process of sight and sound and your brain. And actually you have to have a lot of knowledge up here and a lot of words up here to even understand what people are talking about.
When did you learn sign language?
I took a class from Penn State about 20 years ago, and then when Jeff came to us, he was a deaf man, and he could not communicate with us. He doesn't speak. So we started learning from him. We were helping him. He was helping us. It was a good situation. It turned out fine for us, beautiful. So he started teaching us sign language. This is my 6th year. I still don't know very much at all, but I'm getting there.
You seem like you know quite a bit.
Compared to an amateur like you, yeah.
Most people don't understand the world of the deaf and the hearing impaired. It's a
No.
confusing, they're not aware. Most people are not aware. What is that world like for you in a typical day?
I think the first thing is you can't communicate. You can't be in conversations the way other people can. I noticed whenever I was talking to Gary, okay, he has a small voice. You have good volume, okay, maybe because you're a sportscaster or whatever. But anyhow, you can't stay in a conversation with all people because they speak differently. They hide their words on it. They turn their head. So conversation's difficult. Phone conversations are difficult. The biggest thing is whenever you lose your hearing, you grieve because you've lost something that's important, okay? The connection you have with other people. And another thing is, I think people tend to look at you then and say, there's something wrong with her, she's slow. And that's the biggest thing, that's the thing that hurts. I have a badge somewhere, I think I lost it. It says, I lost my hearing, not my IQ. And that's important to people who are deaf and hard of hearing. So that's the biggest difficulty, having other people misunderstand the fact that you just lost your hearing and you just need a little bit more of attention. The way you and I are talking now, face to face, it's perfect. And if you stay that way and you give your full attention to a person who has hearing loss, that's awesome. It's just a different way of communication, but it's necessary for others to understand. And that's why I started this. Part of it was to get the public to understand how it feels and what they can do.
Yeah, let's talk more about why you started this, when you started this, and
Okay.
how it began.
It began as a project as I had as a senior at Penn State. I graduated in 2009, and I decided it was time for me to help people with hearing loss. I had to investigate. Was there anybody else around here doing it? No. No one was here was helping people with hearing loss except audiologists. So after investigating, talking with my professors, and then coming here to St. Vincent, I talked to Sister Ann Horvath, who is a daughter of, Nazareth, daughter of Nazareth, I think. And she accepted me as an intern here at St. Vincent. And I convinced her and Roy, our director, that maybe it's time to start this project here. So it was a perfect match for me. It was almost, you say the spirit, I think the spirit's been leading me all my life. But in this case, Sister Ann had been a person I was in contact with because she needed help with gardening. And I came to help her with her gardening. She has a Mary's garden out here. And I helped her with that. And then I remembered maybe I could go back to Sister Ann and ask her for a return favor by letting me be an intern here. And she did.
Divine providence.
Yeah, it is, all my life, wonderful. And you'll see when you talk to the other people that you'll meet, Jeff, Cindy, all those people are important in my life. We're all in a big network and reconnecting here. And maybe Monsignor Canary, who is coming here later, he's a part of my past, came back into my present. So, awesome.
What all takes place in the program? What we saw, the class, what else do you do to raise
Okay.
awareness and help people?
We have interviews here if people need employment. We recommend them to the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. We find hearing aids that are free with application fees. There are free telephones through the state and other free telephones. We also go out into the public with information. We give out information. We give out cards that explain how to communicate with a person who's deaf. We have the sign language classes now 3 times a week, and we have, in the past, we implemented the Highway Hearing Safety Project, which is, we'll show you later, it's a card that drivers can put on the sun visor. They can turn it. If an officer comes, the officer can see that the person is not going to be able to hear them, or maybe didn't answer the emergency signals because they can't hear. That was our big project.
So what for some, oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm used to talking so much. Okay.
So what for some people would be a routine traffic stop, for someone that is hearing impaired or deaf, that's a very challenging, stressful
It is.
situation, because they may have no intention of creating any confusion, but confusion may exist in that moment.
Well, you stopped at, have you ever been stopped by an officer?
Yes.
And you're apprehensive anyway, and if you know you're not going to be able to answer his questions, you're doubly nervous. It's a bad feeling. And then until we started this project, our local police officers didn't know how to identify deaf and hard of hearing too. So we went out to them. We went to the police, the state police, and local police, and we told them what we're doing and how to communicate with people who are deaf. A lot of them didn't even know that you have to have an interpreter for the deaf. It's a law, the Americans Disability Act. You must get an interpreter, but they were slacking off.
you're a community. You mentioned that you get to know these folks that are,
Oh, right.
they're not a lot of people that are hearing
No.
impaired, so you're a tight-knit group, you rely upon one another.
Well, I guess more and more deaf people are coming into the program, which surprised us. But we have the sign language classes now. And of course, you met Cindy, the interpreter. She knows the deaf people in the area. This past month, we had a baseball coach call because he has 3 deaf children coming into his program and he needed an interpreter. He's now coming to sign language so he can help. A woman wrote to me because she has severe hearing loss. She wants to train her dog to be a hearing dog. And so, just through connections on Facebook and the community, I found someone who does that. The other thing, there's a deaf woman from Connellsville, a local town. She is expecting twins, and she's deaf. She asked if we could get her a baby monitor. So the monitor is in the baby's room. It's connected to I guess wireless, to a unit in her kitchen or wherever she is, flashes whenever the babies are crying. So most deaf people are broke because most of them are unemployed or only partially employed. So we got that for her. So she's going to pick that later today.
What do you think about St. Vincent de Paul getting involved in something unique like this?
Well, St. Vincent de Paul now that I know is all these people here, and they're marvelous. Without exception, I'm impressed with all the people who work over here and what they do. They work hard day after day, week after week. Some of the people here are in their 80s, yet they come here, and I think it's just their life. And I think it's a good life for them, and it's a good life because their work here provides for the people who come and really need things that other people take for granted. And St. Vincent is probably the last place that people can come to ask for help when the other agencies have turned them down because of paperwork, because of rules. Some of the stories that I've heard whenever I was interviewing really touched me. But the people here, they're just so spiritually inclined to do what they do. You know, there's an 80-year-old woman here taking stuff apart, blistering up her hands. And she's here just to help others. And I know they disagree with each other sometimes. And I know there's always a lot of friction in the background. But it doesn't matter. They're going to be here because their main idea is to help others. Whether they have sins like everyone does or flaws, it doesn't matter. They're here because they want to help people. And that's why I'm here. Pardon me?
Are you a Vincentian?
I consider myself a Vincentian. 7 years ago, I didn't know what a Vincentian was, but now I do, and I'm proud to be one. I'm glad to be in the society of really unique people. And so giving myself and helping others learn how to give themselves, I think that's a part of it. So,
even though you have had to struggle with this for years, this has become a gift, hasn't it, that you share with others?
It is. Coming to St. Vincent has changed my spirituality. I often say I prefer to be here. Not better than home, of course. Of course, home is home, but I do prefer to be here, just to be with the people that are here. To sense that there are other people like me, and that other people want to help in whatever way they can, even the smallest thing. Try to describe how it would be. You know, the group over here that makes patchwork quilts, did you see them? Even that little small scrap of material, it can be the piece that adds to the beauty and the piece that really fits in. So some of the people over here say, well, maybe she can't do anything here. Or maybe she can't do anything because she can't hear. But that's wrong. you can still find a place in St. Vincent for someone, even though their town is just the smallest one. And that's what they do here. Even if they're answering the phone or moving things, it's just it's hard to explain.
No, you've explained. The people you're helping, the people that were in the class earlier, you sense that they're grateful that this is in this community?
I think, yeah, we're, yes, they're all, this is their place to be because in other places, they can't socialize the way they do here because in other places, people talk and they turn their heads, they get interrupted. So here, they know they're welcome, they know that they can communicate and no one's going to say, oh, you're slow, or never mind, we're not repeating. So when they're here, this is the place where they can relate to each other. It's like a magnet now, drawing them in. On Saturdays, we have as many as 15 people come to practice sign, and we have a wonderful time. I wish you could have come for that.
All right, is it thank you?
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And you're welcome. Is that-
Welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, very good.